Hey everybody, welcome back to Card Talk, a podcast where we spend a little bit of time talking about cards from Lord of the Rings, the card game. I'm your host, Dave Walsh, and today we are doing a playthrough. Grant's not with us today, so we're just kind of going through some of the, going through some of the quests. I've been trying to hone a Dwarf Mining deck. That's kind of my latest series here. I haven't given up on the Sylvan deck at all. I just need a break, and so I've been trying to see if I can get a Dwarf Mining deck to work. And so I've been doing some random questing through random quests, and so just to see how everything holds up. So today's quest, if you haven't guessed by the Umbar Sentry and Seize Them, is Escape from Umbar. This holds a special place in my heart, actually, Escape from Umbar. This was the first scenario that I started playing when I decided that I could take my Sylvans through all the scenarios. So I've actually beaten all these scenarios with my Sylvan deck in this cycle, but I didn't record them, so I have to make sure that I record them. But having said that, this is the first quest in the Sands of Haradrim, the Sands of the Haradrim cycle. So the Sands of Herod box here. This is the first quest, and so here's the setup. Actually, let me make sure I do this right. I have to draw. And I've been messing around a lot with my deck. I've changed my hero lineup, but one of the things that I noticed, and this is the big difference about this deck, is that I couldn't quest. So what I decided to do was to add 3 copies of the Aether Swordsman. Now, 1 copy is fine, but 2 copies then build off each other, and then the 3rd copy will build off of all of those. So if I get those guys into play, that means I have 12 questing. So that may actually help me with my willpower issues. Okay. So let's see what I get. Okay, and so I added this during the last playthrough because I needed to lower my threat, and so which is funny because I will get a threat tracker, and this is one of these things that I start off with 34 threat, which is ridiculous. So, anyways, the Glathrim's Greeting, Durin's Song, Narya, well equipped, Unexpected Courage, and an Aether Swordsman. So I am going to keep this hand with the hopes of doing some good stuff right off the bat. Okay. So Narya is good. Basically, Gandalf has all his toys. That's what it works out to be. Okay. So I'm going to keep this hand, and I know that I get to play with my top card face up, but I will. I'll set this up first here. It says add Seize Them to the staging area. Each player adds 1 different location to the staging area and puts 1 copy of Umbar Sentry into play, engaged with him. So this guy's engaged with me. Okay. So I picked the narrow alleyway because the narrow alleyway will take the one enemy engaged with a player and put it under it. It's kind of like an escape route in case this gets weird. For my Sylvan deck, I needed to do it because the very first turn I couldn't necessarily trigger. I couldn't kill this thing. I think that this deck is going to play a little bit differently. Okay, and then 1B says the stage cannot have more than 15 progress on it. Okay, so. And it says, while at least 1 player is engaged with an enemy, the players cannot defeat the stage. Another reason why I really like this cycle and the previous cycle and the cycle after it there, Mithrin cycle, is that it tells a narrative that's kind of a continuing narrative through the whole thing. So we just got done sailing on ships in the Dream Chaser cycle, and so this scenario though is in the port of Umbar, and we have all these Harad bad Herod enemies that go through, and so it's kind of an interesting take that it's kind of a continuing the cycle here. The other thing is seize them says it says after an enemy destroys a character, it says remove X progress from the main quest. Okay, so that's pretty rough, where X is the attacking enemy's threat. That can be a pretty tricky thing, because this can only have 15 threat on it, or 15 progress on it, and then you start removing progress, and because you're engaged, it just gets to be crazy. So basically, we have these folks in Umbar that are coming to attack and try to kill me. They're seeing me as the bad guy. I don't know if it's just a case of mistaken identity or what, but apparently they don't like dwarves and Istaris. So anyways, I am going to draw a card. So I get Narya. Okay, I get another copy of Narya. That's not very good. So I get to play with this with my whatchamacallit, straight up. So I get to play this card if I want. Now that's the Steward of Gondor. That is so very helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Steward of Gondor. So I get to play this. I get to play the top card using Gandalf's ability. I get to play it one time. I get to play it as if it's in my hand, one time per phase. So I'm going to play it onto Dine. Okay. And then I turn this over. So there's a well-equipped. Well-equipped just allows me to discard the top 2 cards of my deck. So now I'm going to. So I exhausted this. Now I'm going to get. Now I have 3 here. So what do I want to do with the 3? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this well-equipped. I'm going to play this well-equipped and discard the top 2. 1, 2. And now, let me just make sure. Okay, so the Dwarf Miner comes into play, but Shadowfax gets discarded. Okay, Shadowfax gets discarded. Even though he could get played onto Gandalf, it doesn't allow me to play attachments onto anybody. It just it allows me to play attachments on. It allows me only to play it on dwarf heroes. So that's crazy. But I get the Dwarf Miner as a good reaction to that, and now I am going to pay 2 to play Narya onto this guy. Okay, and that leaves me 1 resource available. Okay. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to play Narya. I'm still going to pay 2, but I'm going to put Unexpected Courage onto Dine, just in case I need to defend for more than I want to. Okay. So, this will be good. So far, so good. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm in a good position. I feel like this deck is getting better. You'll see me, I'll start to sleeve it when I think it's actually doing well. It's harder to exchange cards out when you're when they're sleeved. Anyways, so I'm going to do 5, and then just to make sure, what do I want to do? I can't play anything from my hand. Oh, one of the editing things that I realized that I could do is I can change the color of my cards that are all, let's see, in here. And so the color represents what sphere they're in. That was a neat thing that I decided to do. So anyways, okay, so I quest for 5, 6, I guess. I'll quest for 6. I'll just defend this guy. Actually, I'll quest for 5. Okay, so staging step, there's a 3. So here's the problem. Okay, I'll quest for 6. Okay. Okay, so here's the staging step. So that's 3. It says, while Umbar Street is in the active location, each enemy gets -1 engagement cost for each progress token on the main quest. Okay, there's no progress on the main quest yet, but there will be. I'm going to get a quest dice out. So this is, I just made 1 progress. So that was good. Because if at the end of the round the main quest doesn't have any progress on it, I lose the game. So I needed that. So I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to travel here. Okay. Just because, and then I'm going to, this guy gets archery 1. So I'm going to give archery, I'm going to give the archery to Glowin. Now this is just a happy coincidence, because every time Glowin takes a damage, and it's not combat damage, it's just damage. It says after Glowin suffers damage, add 1 resource to his resource pool for every damage suffered. So he just took 1 damage, so I'm going to give him 1 resource. Okay. Because the archery triggers at the beginning of the round. So I'm going to now, I'm going to use, I'm not going to do the forced effect, or I'm sorry, let me make sure I do this. I'm not going to remove a progress, because if I do, I'm going to lose. So I have to take the +2, but Dine can handle just about any sort of thing that we need to. So he's going to be the one that attacks. Okay, and so I'm going to spend no shadow effect, which is perfect. Okay, and so it's the Umbar square, no shadow effect. So Dine is going to take, I'm going to have him take 1 damage. Just because I just think, why not, right? Okay, and now, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, before all that went off, I'm going to play Durin's Song. Okay, so I'm going to choose a Dwarf Hero, and that Dwarf Hero is going to be Dine. And so Dine's going to get +2 to defend. But I did that mainly now because I want to use Dine to attack and kill the Umbar Sentry. Okay. So Dine didn't take any damage. It's fine, and I have all sorts of stuff that I can deal with. So I'm in good shape. Okay. Even though I have 35 threat, I'm in good shape. I say that. Famous last words. Okay. So I'm going to ready, resource, raise round, raise threat. Okay. So as another added bonus, I decided that I was going to put Glorfindel in this deck, because Glorfindel, the ally, you can play from your discard pile. So if I use him to discard, I can always bring him out, which I think in this particular case is pretty good. So I'm going to put out, so I'm not worried about Glorfindel, but I am going to pay 2 to bring out an Ithir Swordsman. Okay. And then I'm going to pay another 2 to bring out the Erebor Guard. So I discard 1, 2 to reduce its cost. So now I get another Eredluin Miner. This is on the top of my deck. And now I'm going to pay 2 clear, or sorry, neutral, to put Narya onto Gandalf. Okay. So this is why I think I'm in a good position. Okay, so now I'm going to quest. Okay, I'm going to quest with, and then as soon as I get Shadowfax, I'll be able to ready and then use him to do all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to quest for 2 Okay, I'm going to start calling him the Ziggle Swordsman. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 9. Okay, there's 9. And I don't have anything in my hand to help me, but I'm okay with that. So 9. Okay, so there's an Umbar Street. It says while outside the active location, enemy gets -1. So it's the same thing as here. So there's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 2 progress on the main quest. Okay, and so now I get to travel. Okay. And now I don't have anything engaged with me. Okay, so I have 2 Galadrim's Greetings. I can't do anything with this Steward of Gondor, because I already have one out in play. But I am going to play a Galadrim's Greeting to lower my threat by 6. Okay, now Narya and Galadrim's Greeting, I'm not going to do any of that, so now I think I can quest. So I'm going to quest for, let's see here, 4, 6, 9 again. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to leave Dine out, because the Umbar Sentry does have Surge, so 9. Okay, there's another location. Ugh. It says, while this is staging area, progress cannot be placed here. Okay, so that's to prevent this location from being asphalothed or northern trackered. It says, search the encounter deck for a Herod enemy and put it into play, engage with the first player. Okay, so this is what I like about these quests, is that there's all sorts of effects that sort of really help you out. Or that are not helping you out, what am I saying? That really tell a story. And so if you go to the estate, the point is that if you travel there, you're going to have to engage somebody, because it's like the owner of the house or somebody is screaming for you for them to get help. So anyway, so that's 5, 8, right? Okay, and then so now I'm going to travel to the streets. Oh, and I made 1 more progress. Okay. Okay, now, because I traveled here and find a Herod enemy, so I'm going to find one of these. I'm going to find one of the Umbar sentries again, on purpose. Okay, so there's an Umbar sentry. Okay, and I would suggest that most of the time the good play is to take it out of the encounter deck. When it says search the encounter deck and discard pile, I would always kind of take it out of the encounter deck, because it just removes 1 card that possibly could be doing something weird to you. Okay. So. Okay, so shuffle my deck. So now it's the beginning of combat. So now I am going to use Dine. I'm not going to take the progress off of this. I'm going to, because this is engaged with me, I'm going to deal it a shadow card. I'm going to use Dine, and I'm going to exhaust, but I'm only going to, well, I can wait, I guess. So I'm going to, no shadow. So I am going to buff Dine for 1. Okay, so, oh look, I get an Unexpected Courage. That's a great card to have. Okay, so Dine doesn't take any damage. I do have to take damage because of the archery here at the beginning of the turn. So I'm going to give it to Glowing. And now I have to figure out a way to kill this guy, and I don't think I can. So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to use Unexpected Courage. I'm going to attack him with the Erebor Guard and Dine together to do 2 damage to this guy. So, boom. He's almost dead. Okay, but he's not in the staging area, and that's all that matters. Okay, so now let's do what we can here. I get to draw this card. It's funny because this is not the card that everybody sees that this is the card that which I get to play it on the top of my second unexpected courage. That's really good. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this unexpected courage here onto Gandalf. Okay, and now that's my unexpected courage. And now I'm going to play a second unexpected courage onto who? Let's see. Let's see, who's the better? I guess I'll put it onto Gandalf. Might as well make Gandalf Tower Gandalf. Okay, Voltron. Okay, and now I only have a Galadrim's Greeting and Narya in my hand, and so now I get the quest. So I'm going to quest for 5, 7, 9. I'm going to quest for 9. Okay. Again, I'm up against 2 in the staging area. And there's an Umbar Sentry. So now this is where it starts getting nasty. He gets Surge and Archery 1. So, okay. So that says X is the number of engaged enemies. So this is 2. Oh, sorry, this is 1. Only 1 is engaged. Okay. So this is crazy, or it's getting to be crazy. Maybe. I don't know. So this is 2, 3, 5, 6. And I made 3 progress on the quest. Okay, and now I get to go to a. So I'm going to go here, and now I'm going to. I get to assign 1 damage. So I'm going to assign 1 damage to Glowing to give me 4 here. Okay, so now Glowing is done. I can't do anything with him. And now I'm going to engage this guy. Okay, so 1, 2. I'm going to ready Gandalf. I'm going to defend. I'm not going to remove anything from the current quest. So let's see. So it says, until the end of the round, defending character cannot ready. Until the end of the round, this character cannot ready. So I can't use his attack. So he does take 1 damage, but he can't ready because of that. So how am I going to defend this? Well, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use... These guys should be exhausted. This should be exhausted. So now I'm going to use Gandalf and Narya to ready. And then I'm going to use the last unexpected courage to ready Gandalf. Okay. Okay, so that was a lot. Whew. Okay, so now I'm going to defend this Umbar Sentry with Gandalf. Okay. And it says, choose a non-unique enemy in the staging area, engage it, and deal it a shadow card. Okay, so there's no non-unique enemy in the staging area. That's cool. Okay, so I've successfully defended all the attacks. Now it's just a matter of doing some damage. So I got to do 2 to kill this one. And then I can't do anything to this. I could do 1 damage to it, but it didn't defend for 1, so that's not good. Okay, so now I'm going to do ready, refresh, raise round, raise threat. I get to draw. Oh my gosh, it's an Untroubled by Darkness. No, and then we play this. Okay, so there's another copy of Narya. Okay. It's funny because I'm not getting any of the other things that I need in this to get. I'm getting Gandalf going okay, but it's funny how that happens. I'm going to play the Greeting, the Galadrim's Greeting, and lower my threat by 6. And now I am going to quest. I don't really have much in my hand to do anything with, so 2, 4, 6, 9 seems to be the good number. So I'm going to use an unexpected courage to ready. So that's committing 9 to the quest. Okay. And I get a treachery. Injured. What does it say? Injured companion. When revealed, each player must choose either raise your threat by 1 for each character you control, or discard a character that I control. Okay, so let's see. What does it say? Do raise your threat by 1 for each character. So I control 7 characters, so I don't think that that's... Or I can discard a character that I control. So I'm going to discard the Erebor guard. Actually, I'm going to discard an Dwarf Miner. So that means I quested for 8. And there's 2, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 progress on the quest. Let's see. After an enemy attacks and destroys a character, so even though I had to get rid of the Dwarf Miner, it wasn't attacked or destroyed, so that's cool. Okay, so now I'm going to travel. So now when I travel, I'm going to travel here, and I get to put this guy face down. It's a response, which, you know what? I don't actually want to use the response. So I'm going to just travel there. And now I'm going to try to kill this guy off. Okay, so I'm going to deal it a shadow card. I'm going to trigger Dine. Let's see. So no shadow. I'm actually going to get rid of Narya. I'm going to just to cycle through my deck a little bit more, and that boosts him +1. Okay. So now this comes on the top of my hand. So what the heck is going on? This is so crazy. I can't get any of the cards that I want. Okay, but let's see here. So now I can kill this guy pretty straightforwardly. I'll use what's his face? Gandalf and the Erebor Guard and kill this guy. Okay, so my staging area is clear. I'm ready to do some stuff here. Okay, so now I'm going to ready resource, raise round, raise threat. So now I'm going to draw. Oh, I forgot to raise my threat. Shockingly, I get Ancestral Armor, and now, oh, there's a Wizard Pipe. So I'm going to play 1, and I'm going to play the Wizard Pipe onto Gandalf. So that's good. So what that does is allows me to take and to switch cards from here, from my hand back to the top of my deck, which is great because then I can use, if I draw a card that I want to discard, like a Hidden Cache or an Dwarf Miner, I can do that. Okay. So now I'm going to spend the 4 and put Ancestral Armor onto Gloin because he needs extra hit points and that gives him some extra defense. So that helps. Okay. And I have Narya and Wizard Pipe in my hand. I can do this. So I think I'm going to want to try to get through this as much as I can here. So maybe Untroubled by Darkness is the way to go. So I'm going to actually quest with intention to using Untroubled by Darkness with the Erebor Guard. It's just going to give me an extra 1, so maybe not. So anyways, 1, 3, 5, 8. Okay, I'm going to use Unexpected Courage to ready him 8. And actually, I'll quest with Dine for 9. Okay. So that's 9. Okay, so stage. I get the Umbar Square. While Umbar Square is the active location, it gains after an enemy is defeated. Place 1 progress on the main quest, bypassing the active location. So to travel, I have to discard the topmost encounter. So this is, so let's see. What did I do? I did 1, 3, 6, 8, 9. 8, 9. Okay. I'm going to play Untroubled. Let's see. Do I need to? 9, 2, 4. Okay, I am. I'm going to play Untroubled by Darkness, and that gives me a boost of 1, 2, 3. So that's 12. So that's 2, 4, and then I do 8. So that's exactly 15. So I hit 15 and I get through here. So now I'm going to do 1A, and so this is Flee the City. I'm able to do this because, again, I don't have any enemies engaged with you. Okay, and it says, so it's like I had to fight off all the people, and now I'm beating feet out of here. It says when revealed, end the current phase, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Starting with the first player, each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until he discards an enemy, and put that enemy in the staging area. Okay, so does it say end the current round or end the current phase? Okay, so it ends the current phase. So we're done with the staging phase. So that's good. So, you know, if you're doing something like put X progress on the current quest, or there's cards that put directly on the quest. So, okay, so now we get a random enemy that we have to put into play with us here. Oh, so I get 1 rand. So there's an Umbar Sentry. And do we reveal it? Nope. Puts this into play, engaged with me. Okay. And now let's see. Quest side 2B. It says, at the beginning of the quest phase, if any player is not engaged with an enemy, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded. Okay. And then it says, well, at least 1 player is engaged with an enemy, players cannot... So, I'm going to have to keep this guy engaged with me, basically, is what I'm going to have to do. Which is fine. Okay. So now I get to travel. So I'm going to travel. And then I'm going to reveal a card. And I reveal the Umbar Street. Okay. -1 for each. Okay. So this is fine. So I'm going to defend this guy. Maybe not. Maybe I just want to kill. Because it says, if the beginning of the quest phase, not engaged, discard enemies. So, okay, so I want to keep this guy engaged with me, because if I discard cards, I can get a random enemy that goes into the staging area, and that's going to change the amount of stuff that I have staged with me. So I am going to want to defend. And... I am going to do this forced effect. Now, here's an interesting thing. So the Seize Them says that if I don't have progress on the current quest through the whole turn, then I lose. But this just came into play this turn, so I'm okay there. But the problem is the forced effect says I can either take off a progress token or raise my threat. And so you always have to choose the one that's going to change the game state. So I can't just choose to reduce this by choosing 0 here. I have to pick the one that gets +2 at the end of the round. And that doesn't bother me because of I am dying, basically. Okay, so I'm going to defend with Dine. I'm going to take the Shadow, and it says attacking it gets +1, +2, instead if it was engaged this round. And it was engaged this round, so this guy has 6. So I'm going to... So I discarded 3 cards to buff Dine up to 6 defense, and that allowed me to get to the Ring of Thror, which actually is nice to have on the top of my deck. Okay, so now I'm going to not attack this guy. I could kill him very easily, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to ready, resource, do all the things here. Hey, I just drew the Ring of Thror. Okay, and then I get to play with this face up. Okay, so that's Gimli. That is a great card to have. So I'm going to use his ability. Actually, yeah, I'm going to use his ability to pay for Gimli. So now that's good. Okay, so now I can't use his ability at all. And now I'm going to pay 1 to bring out the Ring of Thror. And that's guarded location or enemy. Okay, so let's see. Treachery, location. Okay, which is, it's funny how all this is kind of working itself out here. Okay, and now is there a way that I can discard the hidden cache? I don't have a way to discard the hidden cache right now, so it's fine. The only card I have in my hand is Narya. So now this guy's engaged, so let's quest. Okay, so I'm going to quest for 2, 3, 5, 7, 10. I'm going to quest for 10. Okay, I'm going to ready this wizard here, and then I'm actually going to quest for 11 here, because I'm going to quest with Dine. Okay, so just double check. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, staging here. Okay, so there's the Southern Soldier. It says, after Southern Soldier engages you, either remove 2 progress tokens from the main quest, or Southern Soldier makes an immediate attack. Okay, so there's 3, 6, 9. Oh, ooh, 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 ew, ew, ew. Three, 6, 9. 10, 11. Look at me. Look at that. Okay. Guess what? I just lost the game. I was in a good position, and all of a sudden, I lost the game because of... I pulled out 2 cards, and it was 6 threat, and I still didn't get that. Huh. Oh, it was... Well, let's play through the round. Maybe something weird is going to happen that allows me to do this. So I am going to engage this guy because I want him out of the staging area. Okay. That's wild. Okay, so I'm going to do cards. Now I'm going to defend this guy with Dine. It says it makes an immediate attack. Okay, so during the engagement phase, he makes an attack. Okay, so I'm going to use Dine to block that attack. And let's see what happens. I get rid of a side quest. Okay. And now I'm going to use this to give 2. I'm going to exhaust that to give me 2. Okay. Not exhaust, I'm going to discard. So now it's the attack phase here, combat phase. Okay, so now I can't ready this guy, but I can definitely use Gandalf. And it says attacking it gets +1. Okay, so that's +1. So that is 1 damage on Gandalf. And now I'm going to ready Gandalf again. And I'm going to defend this guy with Gandalf. So he's attacking for 4. No shadow. So Gandalf took 2 damage. Okay. And now I'm going to do 3. Let's see. I'm going to defend this guy with 1. I'm going to defend this guy, so he takes 2 damage. And now I'm going to do 2. Five. Onto this guy. 5 onto that guy. Okay, so it's the end of the round, and I have no progress, so because of the seize them, I haven't made my way back out of the city, and guess what? I'm dead. That is such a bummer. I thought I was in a good position. I couldn't get my Ether Swordsman's up and working, but I feel like I was close here. Maybe in this particular quest, not putting out the ring would have been good. I didn't realize that I was that close to not questing successfully. But okay. So another loss for the Dwarf Mining deck, but I feel like this is the iteration that I'm going to play with. So expect a few more episodes on this particular deck. Have a great day, everybody. And if you're interested in finding this or any of our back episodes of Card Talk, feel free to search YouTube, where you can find our flagship video episodes with the username CardTalk2018. Or you can search the RSS feed, cardtalk2018.libsyn.org, for our extended audio versions of our podcast. Or you can find us on Facebook at CardTalk2018. And if you have any questions for Grant or myself, or for both of us, feel free to email us at cardtalk2018@gmail.com.